Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of season 7, Be Bold, Why Not? And to all our viewers from the Philippines, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Tonight is a very, very special night because I have a very special guest. But before we get to our guest, let's show them the mechanics of the game.
How to join the game. Watch the live show and join the conversation. Share your thoughts or experiences by commenting during the show. Like, share, and tag at least 3 friends in the comment section to qualify for a chance to win a prize. Participate actively. The more comments you leave, the higher your chances of winning. All participants will be eligible for the prize. The winner will be selected using the Wheel of Names randomizer.
All right, those are the mechanics of our game that we always do in the show. But again, as we are here in Be Bold, Why Not? We love to share stories that will inspire our viewers. And of course, you're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, stream.lawin.live, and twitch.tv. And if you missed the live show, you can listen to our podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a lot more. So tonight, I'm so privileged to have a guest whom I have known probably for the last 18 months. And I'm just so impressed by her very jolly and very passionate outlook in life. I'm very privileged to work in a department in the hospital where we need somebody that will light up the day, that will just make it fun amidst our hard days or our difficult days sometimes at work. And I just love to share his story because I believe that our viewers will definitely learn from her. I'm sure that she have a life full of fun lessons that she can share to all of you. So without further ado, I would love for our guest, Miss Miriam Garcia-Hocker, to come on the show now. Miriam, welcome to Be Bold, Why Not?
Hi, MJ! Hi!
I'm so excited, Miriam. You look amazing tonight. You look so pretty. Yeah, yeah. So how are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. A
Oh,
little nervous.
it's my pleasure, and I would love to hear your story. You know, here in our show, we just share boldly stories of people that can inspire our viewers, inspire me of too, because you know I believe that every single one of us has a story to share, and you know the power of stories. I mean, you cannot discount that because in this world that we live in, we gotta encourage each other. We gotta empower each other, and there's nothing more powerful than actual life stories that people can hear, that people can learn from. We here in Be Bold, Why Not? We share stories of courage, passion, and I know you have so much of that. You know, because being in a healthcare profession, just like what they don't call it profession anymore, right? It's a controversy. But anyhow,
Yeah.
being in healthcare, they say it takes a special person, right? So anyway, before we get to more deep or deeper conversations about life and bold actions that you have done in your life, we would love to learn first about you and your family. Share us your family, Miriam, and where you from?
Yeah. Well, I'm homegrown. I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas. It's pretty boring, right? But I am the oldest daughter of five siblings. I'm first generation, so my parents are from Mexico, and
Mm-hmm.
we grew up here in Houston locally, and went through all the local schools and went to school in the medical center, and now we work there. I'm also married with Eric. Between us, we got three boys. My oldest, Isaac, and Christian's my youngest, and then I got my bonus son, Enrique, who just recently made us a grandparents. And we got three dogs that you know about, but they drive me crazy, and they probably roll the house around here. So that's it.
So three boys and three dogs. Wow. Total of six. So you just mentioned that you are the eldest of five girls. So are you total five in the family, or do you have brothers?
So it was five siblings, but three girls and two boys. But my
Okay, okay.
brother's the youngest. Yeah,
Oh, three girls and two boys. Okay,
yeah.
kind of like us. Yeah, four siblings for me. But anyhow, being the eldest girl in the family, how was it growing up? Share us a little bit of the fun stuff when you were growing up as a kid.
Well, in tradition, and I'm sure, like, culturally, we're kind of similar. Mexican and Filipino communities
Yeah.
are. We have a lot of shared, memories. I'm sure, but growing up, it was. I went to school not knowing a word of English. I remember the first
Uh-huh.
day of kindergarten, just not knowing anything, and not being able to talk to my teacher, Ms. Wyrick, at the time, and just crying. But eventually, just kids just absorb everything.
Mhm.
Coming home and telling my siblings about what we did at school, and then eventually being in an ESL program where I had to learn the proper way of doing Spanish, and then doing everything in English in the other part of the day. So it was. I mean, looking back, it was just colorful chaos, you
Uh-huh.
know. But it was. That's all I knew, and it was those simple days were so fun. Playing in the backyard, or for us playing loteria, with pennies or beans. But it was
Uh-huh.
fun. It was great. Things are so much simpler back then. It was awesome.
Yes, yes. And this, as you said, culturally, we probably have so many things similar, right? And then,
Mhm.
just like you, my kids, when we first came to the US, because my boys were like 2 and 3 years old. So when they first got into the school, they had to be in the ESL program because, of course, we're dual language, right? But they say that it's actually great if you speak more than one language because you work your brain like both, parts of your brain, or different parts of your brain actually work. So was it a challenge learning English? Do you remember that as young as you were?
I don't remember. I really think kids are just like sponges. They're resilient. They just they adopt to anything that you give them. And it was just, that's what you do.
Mhm.
And now it's like, I don't think I could do that. The older I get, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, plus kids we're like a sponge,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, kids are like a sponge. They can absorb easier whatever teachings they have to go through. So I bet it was that fun, and at the same time it's interesting, right, to learn a different language. Because in the Philippines, I grew up in the Philippines, but everybody's aware, Filipinos are pretty much very well versed in English because the medium of teaching is English. Although we don't speak it every day like this, like we converse in English and all that, our schools, the medium of teaching is English. So it was like we came here, we could speak English, but our accent, of course, it's not native, right? So we still get those instances where we actually had a doctor in Lubbock, Texas when I first came in. It's like one of our nurses had to page him in the middle of the night, right? So he calls back and then he says, because of the accent, he says, "Can I speak to someone who actually can talk in English?"
I'm
I'm
like,
like, yeah, I know that was very like,
oh,
right?
I think the English is so much more proper for you. My friends that are from the Philippines, it's like, oh, such proper, usage of wordage. I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
me.
But again, language barriers is a big thing, especially in our profession,
Yes.
because we have so many patients from different parts of the world, from different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So language is actually one of the things that, and culture, right? So that's why there's cultural diversity. So
Mm-hmm.
let me ask you a little bit of maybe a challenging question, because we're both of us, we're not, I mean, you're your first generation in the US, but have you encountered any type of challenges when it comes to culture growing up here in Houston, Texas, but coming from a different country, your parents?
Um, yes and no. I guess because in Houston is just such a hub that
Mm-hmm.
you will find someone will understand
Mm-hmm.
um, some of those nuances that we don't all understand. But nah, I mean, when I went to a private Christian school in high school, I had like
Uh-huh.
14 people in my graduating class, and I remember me and my sister were probably the very few Hispanics in the class. So me and her would just, we go into Spanish mode. And I remember someone just saying, he's like, "Well, you're in America, speak English." And I'm like, "Well, we don't have a national language, it's okay. We're just talking about food, you know." Just some of those little moments, but I don't know. I just
Nothing major.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing huge. But
Yeah.
at the same time, when growing up as a kid, when I was the only English speaking person in my family, my parents would just pull me into, "Hey, can you translate? Can you do this?" And
Mhm.
at that time we didn't have the resources, even in the stores or in the courthouses or wherever schools or
Yeah.
anywhere. So I mean, it's changed a lot, but I think it's so much easier now. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good because the same thing here. I mean, and you're right. Houston is the most diverse city in the whole of USA, right? So we're blessed that we're here because we're very. I mean, everybody is so accepting of different cultures because I don't think Houston will be as progressive as it is,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Without these different cultures and professions from all over the world. So we're just lucky, we're just blessed that we are here because I hear there are some parts of the country that are not as welcoming, right? They are not as open when it
Yeah.
comes to other cultures. But anyway, let's talk about growing up, what you wanted to be. What did you dream about becoming? I know you, of course, I know you're a nurse now, you're a nurse practitioner pursuing your doctorate in nursing practice and all that. But did you always want to be a nurse?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That wasn't even in my radar.
Uh-huh.
Remember the movie Twister?
Uh-huh.
And today reminded me of that because there's a lot
Uh-huh.
of tornado warnings. But when I was I think it was third grade, I'm dating myself, but I wanted to be a tornado hunter.
So funny. You know what? Oh my God, that is something interesting that I just learned about you. What? That's so
I was like,
cool.
that's the one thing nobody really knows about me. I'm fascinated with tornadoes. I wanted to go to Oklahoma to go chase tornadoes.
Miriam, you're such a fun person to work with, and now knowing that, I mean, I that would be so cool. I like when I see you on Wednesday at work. I bet would be laughing. So you
Yeah,
want to be a tornado hunter?
I did. I did. If there's ever a storm, I'm
Mhm.
that crazy lady like looking out the window trying to take a picture of it. And Eric telling me to go inside.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, Miriam, we're on our first break, but when we come back, we'll talk about what changed, why you did pursue becoming a tornado
Yes.
hunter. Right. We'll talk about that when we come back after our first break.
Um,
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
All right, we're back. Before we continue our conversation, let me read some of the comments from our viewers. So we have Julia Reyes. Good morning, Mom MJ, and watching again from Bugalon, Pangasinan. Good morning. And Krisha De Vera. Good morning, y'all. All right, that's Texan, right? Nice to see you again, Miss MJ. And of course, for our guest, Miss Miriam. Thank you, Krisha. And of course, we have Andrew Cruz. Hello, good morning, y'all. Wow, good morning. And then, of course, Rector Julius. Good evening, Mom MJ, watching from Pangasinan. And we have again Julia Reyes. Hello, Mom Miriam Garcia. You're so pretty. And God bless you always. Wow, that's awesome. And then, of course, we have Daisel Miral Siaton. Good evening, Mom Miriam Garcia. Good evening. See, those family names, as you can see, they're all Hispanic. So it seems
yeah.
like people are watching from Mexico or Mexico, and they're all from the Philippines. But anyway, that is so funny. I don't know. It's so fun, really, to work with Miriam, y'all. Okay. Anyway, so what changed? Growing up, you had that dream,
Yeah.
and then
And
what
then
happened that you had to take a
change.
different path?
Yeah. So then my mom, of course, was like, "That's insane. That's not. You're not going to do that. You need something that's gonna work. You're gonna work and you help your family." So then my next step was, and I actually started. When I went to community college first because first generation. We don't have a lot of support, but I was gonna do accounting, and then I
Uh-huh.
realized I couldn't do math well, and
Okay.
that didn't work out either. But during that process, I was married. I got married young. I had my boys pretty early in my life, but it wasn't until this is really where my life just ended up changing and for the best, right?
Mhm.
Having my boys changed my path, and that's actually what brought me into healthcare.
Mhm.
I was a medical assistant for Harris County Hospital District for a year, and I remember having these amazing, in the community that I was in Southwest Houston, it was predominantly Hispanic, and getting to see people that look like me, that spoke my language, right? That were
Mhm.
first generation citizens,
Mhm.
citizens and whatnot, and they shared their story with me. That pretty much what inspired me to go to nursing school. I was like, well, if Maria can do it, and she's telling me I can do it, I'm like, why not? And I think having her, Maria and Elizabeth, all these nurses at that time that I watched and they mentored me, just pretty much is what brought my life around to
Mhm.
go and to pursue nursing.
Mhm.
So I don't know, it was just the way it was meant to be, it's
Yes.
perfect.
And
Yeah.
I believe too that God actually has a plan for us that sometimes we really don't know. And we may have our own plans laid out, and but then if this is not the path that he wants us, then he gives us a different path. And
And
which is probably the one that would give us the best of
yeah,
what we are here in this world, right?
yeah,
So was it a challenge to take up nursing? Like
yes.
not your first interest in the beginning, but Was it a challenge? And how did you get to love or learn to love? Because now you're even pursuing your DNP, which we will talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when God laid out that path for me, right? It just, when you finally find that your purpose and your path and your passion, it just became so much easier.
Mhm.
At the same time, the challenge that I had was that when I was fairly a young mother and a pretty young wife as well, but my husband in 2006 died, so I was a widow with two young
Oh,
children at the
yeah.
time, and that was my, the one thing that really brought a lot of challenges. But when you at that point there was no option; you just have to do it. I had to finish my degree, but um, I don't know. I look back and it doesn't feel like it was such a long time ago. It was over 20 years ago, but
Mhm.
just to look at that and just to think that, oh, I did that. I was like, that was, I had help from up from up above,
Yes,
and
yes.
there was challenging. Being a mom, being a nursing student, having two young kids, and even dealing with my grief and loss, but
Mhm.
um, I, it all worked out. I think when you love what you do, and that's where maybe that's where God put us here to do that. That's our purpose, right? It just
Yes, yes.
natural. So it was pretty
Yes.
awesome.
Oh my goodness. That's so much wisdom there, being a young mom and then being in school at the same time. But you had so much faith that God just brought you through. And of course, your family support and all that. So, is there someone in your life that you really look up to, and what make you really admire that person? What lessons have they shared with you?
Mm, a person that I admire tremendously is my late husband's mother, Tammy.
Mhm.
She That was her. She lost her only son. I say my kids lost their father. I lost my husband, but she lost her son. But to see her come through everything that she went through, and to still show the love of life, the love that she has for life, for her grandkids, for the whole world, is just, it's humbling. And to be
Mhm.
in the presence of people like that it's just amazing. You know,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's
Oh
awesome.
my God. I didn't mean to make you a little bit
No, that was good.
emotional, but
I
this
love
is
her.
all I know, I know. And thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Because,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes we are vulnerable, and in those times of vulnerability, and we still are bold and courageous enough to share our feelings, I mean, that means so much for the
Yeah.
people that are listening. I bet just that, with those words that came out of your mouth, this segment already is inspiring us, and I bet you inspiring other people, because that's very emotional. And thank you, Miriam. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
no,
for sharing that. As I said earlier, our conversation will just flow. And this
yeah.
is what I love in this show, because it just flows.
This
Whatever
is
that you're
being real.
sharing. Yeah.
Being human. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, since our show is be bold, why not? So can you think of a moment in your life that you took the boldest step ever? What's the boldest step you have taken?
I want to say a bold decision, I guess, in my career was when I actually came to palliative care, the supportive care team. I think that
Mhm,
was a big step. It was changing, we were
mhm,
treating cancer to alleviating the symptoms,
mhm,
and it changed. It didn't just change how we work, but it also makes you reflect on how you're living your life. And I think it was for the best, because I feel
mhm,
like now seeing life through our patients' eyes and their stories, because they tell us how their stories,
mhm,
you're able to live life in a whole different way, that
mhm.
I can't explain it. It's been pretty life changing for me. I don't know about for you, but I'm sure. But
Okay. Yeah, and And I hear you because I feel that too. I admire our patients'
Mm,
courage as well and how they look at life in a different way. And it
mm,
just enlightens us, it gives us a different perspective, it makes us appreciate
mm.
every single moment. Like it makes it appreciate that we get up every single day breathing, right?
Yeah.
I can't forget one of our patients that I saw in the ED or the ECCC told me this is what he said, and it just dawned on me, and I just couldn't forget it. I mean, I have it like it's a wisdom I try to share too to other people. He said life is not a problem to solve, it
Yeah.
is a journey to live.
Yes.
Wow.
That,
Somebody, yeah, right,
yeah.
from someone who is battling cancer
Mm-hmm.
would
Yeah.
be able to say that. And sometimes we complain about so many things in life and we don't see the big picture. There are people going through so much,
Yeah.
and we are blessed to be able to serve these people and just be in their journey, be part of their story. And that is what is most rewarding in this profession or vocation that we have. And I'm so blessed to actually be working with you. I cannot forget, Miriam, when I first came to palliative care. It's my first in palliative care too, because I did internal medicine, pulmonary medicine, orthopedic surgery, pain management. But for some reason, I've always wanted to be in palliative care because I think I love to listen to my patients too, to sit with them, hold their hands, and all that. And I just appreciate you because you were one of my, of course, my preceptors when I just started, or mentors. Sorry, yeah, not preceptor because I'm not student. You were one of, you trained me, and I just appreciate you because I learned so much from you. You just really spend time with your patients, and the genuineness, the authenticity, it's there. You can feel it, and at the same time, you're so much fun to work with. So yeah,
She's
yeah.
lying. I have a bunch of candy in my desk, guys. That's why.
And you give us, yeah, and you supply us with sugar. We need
Yeah.
it. All
Sorry.
throughout the day, we have to have that sugar rush because sometimes it's just so, just need something. We need something, and you're always there. I don't know how you do it. You're like the mama of the group because you also organize parties. You're just so creative. You
We have help.
decorate.
It takes a village. It's all of us. So,
Yeah, but someone is initiating it, and you are one of those. You and Monica. So
yeah,
you're just,
Monica.
yes,
Monica's the brains.
both
Monica.
of you, both of you.
Yeah.
But so let me ask you, how long have you been at MD Anderson?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked me because this year, actually in January, I made 15 years. So I am celebrating my quinceañera at MD Anderson. I deserve a crown, you know?
Yes, you do. We need to party, karaoke.
Yes, karaoke. Yes. But yeah,
Wow,
15 years.
congratulations.
Yeah.
15 years. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
started there when you were a baby.
Yeah. Yes. I was a spring chicken back in the day. And believe it or not, like I did 2 clinical rotations when I was in nursing school. And my last semester, I was able to. The director there ended up hiring me, and I got into the graduate residency program. And I mean, it's been a whirlwind. I'm literally homegrown in Houston and homegrown at MD Anderson. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, that's
That's so cool. That's so cool. Let me ask you, did you ever think of like trying different institutions or organizations? Have you ever had that thought? Because like you've dealt with just with not just but with cancer patients all those 15 years, but have you ever thought of maybe going into a different hospital to learn more about other patient populations?
so. Before coming into, and I don't know if if a lot of people are from the Philippines, but if you ever go to MD Anderson, there's an energy there, right? There's hope, there's positivity. It's not just, oh, it's cancer. There's so
Mhm.
much love, so much hope there. Before I walked into the hospital, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Ben Tub. I'm going to go work trauma. I'm going to go do all these things. But when I walked into MD Anderson, it was just like, no, this is it. I just knew. You know, I can't explain it. I just knew. And I've never left.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you, Miriam. I'm so proud of you. Anyway, we are on our second break. And when we come back, we will continue our very nice conversation with you. All right. See you after a little bit.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lawin sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel. Filing taxes, dealing with tax debt, or facing IRS actions is stressful, but you don't have to go it alone. Call 832-674-0829 or visit www.taxresolutionesq.com.
All right, we're back. And we have some comments, or actually there was a question. Can we go back to that part where, okay, Krisha is asking, why didn't you pursue med school afterwards? Do you want to answer that now, or let's answer that when we read all the other comments? Okay, let's see the other comments.
That's fine.
Okay, good morning, Mom MJ and Mom Miriam, watching from Pangasinan. And then another question, I think, just for fun, if you can describe one another in one word, what will it be? Okay, that's really fun. We'll do that. And then Krisha says, life is not a problem to be solved, but a journey to live. Yes, when we stop treating life like a puzzle and start seeing it as a journey, every step becomes an opportunity to grow. Wow, Krisha, you just said it right. Indeed. Yes. So, Miriam, answer first. Why didn't you pursue medicine afterwards?
You know, I think, I don't know. I'm a nurse. I deep in my soul, like this is what God put in my heart, in my spirit, in every fiber of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I know people are like, "Oh, go be a doctor." I don't want to be a doctor. I'm a nurse. You know, I will always be a nurse. I will nurse you back to health. I'll also be there to hold you at your most vulnerable moments. You know, and that's what we do. I know in medicine, and I appreciate our doctors. We need our doctors, right? You know, I know that they're not there. They have to take care of so many patients. And I think as a nurse, when, you know, a bedside nurse, I was just able to be there. I was sometimes the first person to hold the baby coming out, you know, and then also a person, you know, in oncology, I was also a person holding their hand as they're dying. So it's, you know, I don't think you could do that in medicine as much as you can in nursing. So it's, you know, it's just better for me this way. I love nursing.
Wow. That's just so profound, and I love it too. For some reason, I mean, when you get into nursing and you actually have that connection with your patients, it's just so rewarding. I mean, it's hard to explain, because I myself did not first want to be a nurse. I mean, I grew up in public speaking. I thought people thought I would be a broadcaster or I'd be a journalist and things like those. But because of family needs and all that, I had to take up nursing. And for some reason, I mean, I think I am in the profession of serving, and I'm still doing it, you know, despite taking a different path, and which God had put in my, you know, he already knew that I was going to be a nurse, and he still gave me the opportunity to live my passion, which is now I'm here with you sharing stories boldly, right? So God will still give you the desires of your heart. So you still have a chance of becoming a tornado hunter. Yes. That's so funny. Anyway, so the other question of Krisha, just for fun, if you can describe one another in one word, what will it be? You first.
MJ, you're always so positive and no, say encouraging. You're encouraging. You always encourage us. That's the main thing. You encourage everyone.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
We need that.
And you, I don't know, you just love on everybody. It's like you are the mother. If you are a mother in your house, you are the mother in the workplace. So that's how I describe you. You just mother everyone. Like, wow, you parent everyone, not mother everyone. You parent everyone.
We love each other.
You
Yeah.
provide. I like you provide for our candies and chocolates. You
Yeah.
provide for decorations. You just make the workplace really fun. And then you think, I mean, you initiate these parties. So, oh my God. I mean, what
That's
would
so
we do if you're not there, Miriam? And then you make it fun. Like, I couldn't forget what you did during the Halloween. You sur- you had your skeleton. What's her name again? I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Susie.
Yeah, you have Susie. I was just
Susie
like, oh,
visits.
but you're a mother of all. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's so cool to have someone like you, and I'm just so blessed.
Oh,
to-
I'm blessed to have you guys and to be around you guys. It's awesome. It's easy.
So, the question is, of your 15 years at MD Anderson, can you tell us like your journey from the beginning up until now? Like which areas in the hospital did you work at? And what's your, I would say maybe you can tell us by the end of your, how you tell us your journey for 15 years, which area is your most favorite?
Well, okay, so let's start at the beginning. So when I
Yeah.
came here to MD Anderson, when I got onboarded, I started as a graduate nurse. And basically it was like, I think it was like 15 months of, the residency training where, just really getting submerged into what oncology is, and being told how you're the leader. And I'm like, I don't feel like a leader. I'm like, but you will be a leader. You're going to be leading these patients, from the beginning. We are being trained in everything that we're doing as nursing and caring for our patients, but then at the same time we're leading each other. Eventually, and my first department was in, I think it was melanoma, sarcoma, so giving chemos, high dose chemos. I think at that point we were doing a lot of IL-2 for melanoma, and it was pretty intense treatment at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of other off services, any kind of solid tumor, that kind of stuff. We took care of all that stuff. That's where I worked nights for about 2 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it was, I feel like that was a good time because at that point, that's when you're really learning the bulk of what you're doing. Like you're really assessing these patients before you
Mhm.
call that doctor. You got to know what you're doing, right? There's
Yes.
you and your night shift group. But eventually I got oncology certified as a nurse and doing all the charge nurse stuff. Eventually I went to day shift. From that department, I ended up going into a traditional like Monday through Friday job.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was with interventional radiology, where I was a sedation nurse. So I was a procedure nurse.
Uh-huh.
I used to call it like IV margarita time, right? You're
Yeah.
nice conscious sedation and just kind of keeping them kind of relaxed so that the
Yeah.
doctors procedures. So it was another great time to where I was able to, again, you quickly have to meet these people, get them to feel comfortable that you're trusting them and to do this procedure. But at the same time to be ready because things can go south pretty quick. But that was also that was probably my funnest department.
Really? That's
I loved working in IR. I had so many great.
okay.
Yeah, it was
You
fun.
loved giving the sedations where the patient would be like they're happy juice.
Yeah, right now. I mean, at that point, when we tell our patients how pain and anxiety work together, but to see it in real time, how when you use the opioids and you're having to use medications to help, with anxiolytics, anxiety medication. It just, you were able to see it in real time. But even then, it was just a fast pace. We're doing procedures, either working them up, doing the procedures, doing recovery. It was fun. It was fast paced. Liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
But then after that, I went back to, I was in my graduate program. So I needed to go back to a 12-hour shift so I could complete the clinical hours and finish nursing school for the second time. When I got my master's as for an NP, but eventually just went back to bedside at that. That was my last bedside job. On I think it was a GU, GI, medical floor to take care of patients and give chemo and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so straight out of your master's and your nurse practitioner, palliative care.
So no, after that, when I did get my, when I graduated, took boards and all that stuff, I went to GU oncology for about a year. Yeah. But when you say where's my real home? My real home is palliative care. Like y'all are stuck with me. We see our, it's always hard to remember that, we're seeing patients that are really sick, but there's a lot of patients, especially this is what IR taught me. There's a lot of patients that are just coming in for like a routine biopsy. It's not cancer. So getting to see the other side, where patients are living their life outside the hospital, that we're just rolling things out, which is neat. But at the end, I had seen so many patients that we're giving them chemo and they're still progressing and they're suffering. So when palliative care, supportive care, was a good way of, helping with the symptoms and then also helping patients that are approaching the end.
Yes, I know. Oh my God. So now I want to ask you, because I know our job can really get so emotionally taxing and can easily get people to burn out, right? So what do you do for self-care to prevent you to get, your emotions and your mental well-being intact? Because it's hard. I mean, I cannot forget, especially my week when I first stayed at the PCU for the whole week. I'm not kidding. I was crying every day. Like, so how do you take care of yourself and your emotions? What do you do for self-care so you don't get burned out, especially emotionally, and mentally, because it gets really tough in our department.
It does, especially when you're coming from one room to the other and you're talking about what death and dying and what does living look like. It gets to be a lot. Again, but it's also you're asking yourself those questions too. So what do I like to do? What don't I like to do? I'm currently sitting in my little craft room where I like to craft. But a lot of people know that I craft. That's not a secret. I do all kinds of random things in here. But this is also the room where I cut the tip of my finger a couple years ago. So we got to be careful. Let's not be too crazy. Look at your face.
Oh my God. So you're a very creative person.
Yeah.
So that's
you gotta tap into that. You have to tap into your creativity. Dr. Barrera says this, disconnect, turn off the news, go do something fun. Whether it's a puzzle, go read a book, go into gardening, go walk, go create something, go do a podcast, go do something. You get your mind off of everything else, all that stuff.
So you love crafting. That's what you divert yourself into. And other than crafting, what do you do for self-care other than crafting?
Oh yeah. So of course we have to exercise, right? You need to exercise, of course. That's good for you. I do also have, and I always tell people this, I won't tell you to do something that I won't do myself. So when we tell our patients, we should talk to someone, go talk to a psychologist, go talk to a therapist. I mean, I can't just tell you to do it. I do it myself. Um,
Mhm.
I had a new therapist not too long ago, and she was like, how's the rest of your team doing? I'm like, I think they're okay. Do y'all talk to someone? I'm like, well, I'm here now. But
Mhm.
she was actually very interested in like how our group was doing, because
Mhm.
she anticipated that we would have high burnout. But I think having a resilient group like we do, and we
Mhm.
also help and lean on each other, has been very helpful for us too. So talk to
Yeah.
someone, talk to your therapist, a specialist, and then get to
Mhm.
have a good team. Awesome.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we're just blessed because our department, I mean, and I'm new. I still consider myself new because I've been there maybe barely 18 months, but I can feel the support from each other. I think
Mhm.
that's the best part.
Yeah.
Because we hear a lot. People live their departments, they leave their jobs, they go somewhere else, not because of their job. A
Hmm.
lot of times it's because of the people that they work with, or maybe leadership or management. But we're just so blessed to have each other,
Hmm.
and we just have each other's back. We are very flexible when it comes to like our schedules. So
Well,
anyway, we
and
have
the
so much.
title,
Yeah,
supportive. We gotta support each other.
that's why we're called supportive care.
Right. Starting
Right.
at home
We
too.
do it for our patients and we do it for each other. And that's really the best part. Anyway, we will go on our last break. And when we come back, we will continue talking to Miriam. Miriam, I couldn't believe we're almost at the end of the show. I know it's not
Yeah.
enough. But anyway, we'll be back after a while. Okay, see you.
For divorce and family law in Texas, Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC will guide you every step of the way.
From initial consultation to detailed review of your case and strategic planning.
We'll sit with you during negotiations or mediations, and represent you in court.
Whether it is a family law, estate planning, or immigration, we will be there to guide through the final steps.
So, leave your legal matters behind you and embrace your future.
You can contact Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC at 346-5454-346 or visit dizonlawfirm.com.
All right, we're back, and we have another comment, I think, from Krisha. Krisha says many people think of nurses as invincible or incapable of feeling hurt, but you're human too. You get tired, overwhelmed, and affected just like everyone else. What message would you want to share with those who treat you as if you're anything less than human? Wow. I mean, that is, yeah. Miriam, you want to comment on that or give your thoughts?
Well, when we've had these patients, we've had numerous patients that have been at times difficult and challenging. Um, I think you just got to stay calm to begin with, and then just give them empathy. Share. Just they're going through. We don't know their story. We need to just kind of there's something there, and give them some grace,
Mhm.
and just see how you can best help them. Can't
Yeah,
force them, but
yeah,
just be nice.
that-
Okay.
that's true. Give other people some grace. And just like you said, sometimes we encounter those difficult people, difficult patients, but you're right. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So, and we just don't lose that focus on what we're here for. What are we here for? And
For sure.
then yeah, right? It's our purpose. If you stay focused on what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, then you don't get affected by this whatever naysays from other people, whatever comments. But yeah, we are very emotional. Actually, in profession of nursing, if you are not, then I don't think you're
I don't know
gonna
why you're there.
because
I don't
because
care.
you have to give out part
Mhm.
of you. You
Yeah.
cannot be a good nurse if you don't
I don't
give out
care.
part of you, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's why we care, and we
Mhm.
have to care genuinely for our
Mhm.
patients. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for that question, Krisha. But as we've said, I think it's very natural, or it's part of being a nurse, to be more understanding, right? more caring, and we just have to love what you do. We just have to love what we do, and that's why we find it rewarding, even though sometimes we get hurt. It's still rewarding because at the end of the day, if you have made even just a simple impact or difference in somebody's life, is someone who's battling cancer, even just holding their hands,
That's
you
it.
know what, it's just I don't know, I just can't explain it. I
Yeah.
had a patient last week. I mean, in the beginning, I mean, I held her hand and she was just crying, and towards the end of our conversation she was already smiling. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean, you cannot put any amount, or you cannot even explain the
It fills your
joy.
cup. It filled your cup. You know,
Yes,
it's so simple. You just
yes,
never know. You go from one room where they're yelling at you, and then you go to the next one, and then they're helping you. So
yes, yes.
I don't know, it's just awesome.
They're allowing you to do what you do, to just fulfill your calling. To me, this profession is a calling.
Yeah.
It is a calling because it's not easy unless you have that mindset that you are called to do what you are doing. Then it's not as rewarding as we've been explaining it, right, the whole time. Now let's talk about your leadership roles. What leadership roles have you assumed in the past, and how did it help you become who you are? Because I know you're pursuing even higher education, so
Yeah.
sometimes we do these roles that can just, oh yes, I think I want to do this because I just learned so much from this role that you've got.
Yeah. Well, I haven't taken any formal leadership, jobs. But I think a lot of the roles when I joined the opioid stewardship program, when I asked Dr. Arthur to let me join the team, that opened up, a lot of opportunities, of course. But and you're right, the DNP program going into quality improvement is definitely opening other avenues. Um,
Mhm.
because ultimately we want to make sure that our patients are taken care of, and how do we add to the nursing profession? How do we and it goes back to I always talk about, like, why did I go back? I'm like, well, when I looked at the percentage of how many Hispanics had DNPs, I was like, oh, there's not that many. I mean, it's not going to change anything, I guess, for me, but I say, but I think it just adds to another layer of professional leadership down the road. So it's just cool. It's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. But how do you haggle between your work and then being in school, being a mom? Yeah, can you give us some advice? Do you do it? I mean, it's like, and you're having fun, you have your crafting, you do your parties and all that. How do you all that? Just there's only one Miriam.
No, I would say, like, well, I have no, I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know. But you know what? I think when you're in, going back to when I was younger, how did I do that? I don't know. I don't remember. It was a blur. One thing at a time, one assignment at a time. I break everything down to just per week, one assignment, one project, and that's it. Just go low and slow, and just slow it down. It's life is awesome, and we want to live it so fast forward and take everything on, but we can't.
Mhm,
And just learn to say no when you can't do it. That's another
mhm,
thing. I can't do this. So it allows me to focus on the stuff that I do need to do. You know. I do have some projects that I need to do for our new mamas in the group, that I just haven't been able to finish because, again, I have assignments and whatnot. But they understand. I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. It goes back to give yourself grace. We can't do it all. We
mhm.
can't, just one thing at a time.
Thank
So
you. I really salute you because you're oh my god, I don't know if I want to go back to school. But there's always that desire. I mean, it's like I I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I don't know if I can do it. You know what I mean?
you
It's
do it.
like just
You
so
do it.
many things going on, but you're my inspiration. So thank you for
You can do it, MJ. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do
okay.
it.
So now, let me ask you the most important lessons that you can share to our viewers. You've been, of course, in the beginning, you had to learn a different language because English was not your first language. And then you became a young mom. And then you became a widow too at a very young age. And of course, you're remarried and you have a very supportive husband. Hi, Eric. And then you went through school. You are in school. I mean, like nonstop learning and being in palliative care, which we deal so much with making our patients comfortable and having hard conversations with our patients. Having gone through those different stages in your life, what are the most important life lessons that you have learned and that you can impart to all our viewers?
Well, life is going to be hard, right? But the question is, how bad do you want it? And do you want to keep doing it? And if you do, the answer is yes, then just do it. Like Nike says, the little swoosh, just do it. Time's going to pass us by. If it's in your heart and you want to do it, just do it. I do want to say that when I look back at everything that my whole life and reflecting on it, it was hard, but I've always had mentors and people to guide me along the path, and God as well. But just follow it, follow your heart. And give yourself, again, it goes back to the word I say, grace. Give yourself grace. Give that to your patients. Give that to your families. Give that to your teammates. Give it to yourself more than ever. I mean, we're all carrying more than we see, and we just need to be kind to each other. But start with yourself. You don't have to be perfect either. You just do it. Just if you want to make a difference, just do it. Just show up.
Yes, showing up. That's right. We just have to show up every day, and we have to show up in the best version of us.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, what do you do to continue to grow yourself, both personally and professionally?
So, I'm out in the suburbs, so the drive can be about an hour sometimes, right? I love podcasts. Different types of podcasts, right?
Mhm.
I love audiobooks. So instead of wasting an hour and complaining about traffic, just listen to a good book. Listen to a good podcast, something that's going to teach you something. Your time's gonna pass.
Mhm.
Be good.
Mhm.
See whatever, just positive, messages, good books. Get your brain going. Good.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my God, I didn't know that you love podcasts. I am the same.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, it's very important for us to continue to grow ourselves. And it's good to learn from those gurus in the personal growth and development realm or world, right? Because they have so much wisdom. And I love too because they're just so empowering, so encouraging, so inspiring. And at the end of the day, no matter how tough or difficult your day has been, if you intentionally start your day with a positive attitude, with a positive mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and bringing that positive energy in
Mm-hmm.
the workplace, it makes a difference. It does.
And people
I,
feel it. People can feel your
yes.
authenticity. They feel your humility. So just
Mhm.
bring it.
Yes. And then they see it too. They see it in your eyes. I remember one of the patients that I took care of. It's been a while ago because we wear the masks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So out of the blue, the patient just told me you have very kind eyes.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You can see it. Yeah. People
yeah.
know.
And then because we're if we feed ourselves, if we feed our spirit, with
Mhm.
positive things, no matter how much challenges or how many challenges or negative stuff that we go through, because there are more negative things happening throughout the day than positive things, right?
Mhm.
But if we feed ourselves with positive stuff, especially with God's guidance and spirit and all that, I think you carry it.
Yeah,
It just comes out. You don't have to do the effort. It just comes out.
it is. It does. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's all you
Yes.
gotta do.
Oh my God. It's
Secret
been
recipe. Just do that.
Yes, I love it, Miriam. It's been a wonderful an hour.
I
We
know.
already finished the hour. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that just went by so fast.
No.
Now, last question. Fill in the blank. To be bold is for
To
you.
be vulnerable. Yeah, to be
Wow.
bold is to be vulnerable. Yeah.
I love that because it's true. Sometimes we just don't want to show people how we feel,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because for us, that's like we don't
Weakness.
want them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, if you are vulnerable and you know you show your feelings, that's boldness.
Yeah.
That's courage.
Yeah.
Because not everybody shows their true feelings. Not everybody shows their true selves. We live in this world of we try to pretend everything is okay, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to be not okay. So,
Yep. That's
yeah,
what my therapist says. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miriam. Oh my God, to be vulnerable. I love that. I love that. I truly do. I do. Anyway, before we end the show, let's see who won our game. Let's see. Do we have it? There you go. All right. Oh, we have a winner already. Rector Julius, congratulations. Congratulations. You know how to claim your prize. So message me via messenger. Okay, send me a message and you can claim your prize. Anyway, Miriam, thank you. It has been a wonderful night and conversation with you. I truly appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Thank
And
you.
thank you for sharing your story. Now I know you even better. And the more that I appreciate you and I just am inspired by your story, thank you for boldly sharing it to us because I'm very sure that we had some lessons that we can use for ourselves with your story.
Oh,
All
thank you.
right.
Thanks
So
so much.
all right. Thank you again. And to all our viewers, thank you for joining us again tonight. And next Monday, come back for episode 7 of season 7. So it's double 7. Okay. So see you Monday. And to all of you, thank you for watching Be Bold, Why Not? This is your host, MJ, signing off. God bless everyone.